Welcome everyone to tonight's shir. It's the end of Parshyos Emor, a remarkable story of shlomis bas divry. The Chitas, it's on page Kuf Tzadik Gimel, actually Kuf Tzadik Beis. It's Parshyos Emor, chapter 24, Pasuk 10, Chov Dalad Yud. And if you're in the Chitas booklets, in Vayikra, it's page Kuf Tzadik Beis.
Kuf Tzadik Beis.
So who is shlomis bas divry? Before we read the Pasuk, before we read the Rashi, who is this woman, shlomis bas divry? So right in the beginning of Shemos, there is a story of Moshe Rabbeinu, Vayetze Elechov, he goes out to his brothers and they see they suffer. What happened? He saw that there was a person tormenting a Jew. Vayifen koi v'koi, he looked around. Vayake ein ish. Vayach es ha-mitzri vayitmeneu b'choi. He killed the Mitzri. Why? Because vayar ish mitzri make ish ivri me'achov. What happened? So, the way Rashi tells the story, was that there was the Shoiter Yisrael. The Medrash says that every Shoiter had 10 people under him. He was obligated to take care of them. That was a Jew. Over every 10 Jews, that means every 10 Jews were over 100 Jews, and over 10 Shoiterim, there was one Noigis, and that was an Egyptian that would whip them to make sure that their men are working. So, so the Egyptian sent the Jew out for a shift to work, and he went into to the house, and his wife shlomis bas divry didn't realize that it wasn't her husband, that it was the Mitzri. He slept with her, and then the husband found out about it, and the Egyptian realized that the husband knows. So next day he started to whip him. Come on, get working, but really he wanted to kill him. He had in mind by the end of the day he's going to whip him enough that he's going to die. So Moshe Rabbeinu saw Vayar ish mitzri make ish ivri, that he's whipping him, but really he wants to kill him.
Was adultery a crime in Egypt?
I don't know.
I think it was.
I don't know.
Incest was not only not a crime, but it was the royalty used to practice it.
Okay.
Yeah, adultery. Remember when Pharaoh would not sleep with Sarah?
That was a miracle.
Yeah, but it's well known from the Egyptian literature that the royalty, the kings, they used to marry their sisters, Dafka, because they thought that would keep the blood really pure. Blood.
Okay.
Well, we look at the royal family.
No, but this is a different thing. Ashes ish. They keep the.
That I don't know.
Okay, that's what he's asking.
Yeah,
it was added zima, right?
Yeah, we know that it was
right. Shtufim bezima, right? But anyway, this is different. They were slaves. Who cared? What, they would go to the Supreme Court, to the Egyptian Supreme Court.
Why did he care that the husband knew? Why? Well, I can't conceive why he would care. Why would he care if the husband knew?
So well, it's not like he went and got himself a defense lawyer right now. All he did was plan to kill the husband because he knows.
He wanted to maybe marry the wife.
I don't know what weiter, but it's not like he went to get a legal defense here. He was whipping the guy. He's an evil person. He slept with his wife. Now he wants to kill him. That's a kasha. Why?
Maybe there's a different way of whipping. If you're whipping to work or whipping to kill, it's a different.
Moshe Rabbeinu knew that he's whipping him because of the intent to kill.
Yeah.
So, so he saw that no one. Vayifen koi v'choi. So Rashi says, "Ra ma'asaloi b'abayis u'ma'asaloi b'asada." He saw what happened at night. He saw what happened at the daytime. Vayake einish.
How Moshe Rabbeinu knew that he wanted to sleep with his wife?
How did he kill him?
And he knew he was trying to kill him.
How did he kill him? How did he kill the Egyptian?
Moshe Rabbeinu knew...
I'm asking you a question. How did he kill the Egyptian? How did he kill him?
I wasn't there.
Oh.
Shem Hashem?
He killed him with Shem Hashem. So if someone could kill someone with Shem Hashem, he probably knows what he did last night.
Okay.
So,
Who said he had to know? He saw he was whipping him to kill him. Who said he had to
so
know?
according to that opinion,
Hashem Hashem. How we killed?
No, your question was, why did he have to know? He sees he's whipping him to kill him. So your question is, how did he know? He didn't have to know. He sees he's trying to kill the Jew. So
But he doesn't know he want to kill the Jew because last night he slept with his wife.
maybe he didn't know.
Right, it says he knows.
Said he said no.
Oh, so your question is, did he know? That was your question. Okay. Now
He
you
knew.
said, you said, how did he know? Okay.
Shemon Foras. He killed him Shemon Foras, so he know.
Vayakenish, what does it mean? Rashi said that he saw that there's no good going to come out. There's not going to be a man that's going to go out that's going to be misgayer. There's not going to be any good blood coming out of him. So there's no point. He doesn't have to live. He can kill him. That's so Moshe Rabbeinu killed him. True, there's several opinions how he killed him. One of the opinions is he said the Shem HaMeforesh, and that was it. V'yakenish, also from the Zohar, he saw no one knows else to say Shem HaMeforesh, and no one knows the trick. He's the only one that knows the recipe, so he practiced it himself. Now, there's other opinions of what happened with Shlomis Bas Divry. Really, Rashi is like the most makel. He says she was really a very fine person. And it was not only, it was mutis, she didn't know. She would fight, maybe she'd try to fight to death, and she didn't know, she thought it was her husband. There is a range of opinions of Shlomis Bas Divry. Chazal say that her name was Shlomis because to everyone she said, Shalom Alach, Shalom Alach, Shalom Alach. How are you, Mr. So-and-so, and how are you, Mr. So-and-so? She was yapping too much. Das Divry, she was talking too much to people. So therefore, it was a negative. So there's a range of opinions of what happened. There is the Loshen in one of the Midrashim. This story is brought in the Vayikra Rabbah, and it's brought in the Yalkut Shimoini, in the Mechilt, in the Shirashirim, in the Shmois Rabbah, in the Medrash Tehillim. Everyone tells the story slightly differently. So, for example, in the Shmois Rabbah here, it says that she smiled to the Mitzri. Some commentary said that she liked the Mitzri. This is a very twisted thing. I mean, can you imagine that a woman liked a Nazi officer? I can't imagine, but that's what happened. So therefore, that's why the Chazal call her a Zoina. So that's according to that, Shlomis Bas Divry, as you understand, she was a real Zoina.
The Rashi brings
that's the top. Rashi never says that. The second opinion is that really she was an anusa. That really she was an anusa. That it wasn't her fault. He forced her, but still there was a little bit of her fault because she was yapping too much to people. So how did he pay attention to her? Chazal say that all the slaves or moles were repugnant to the Egyptians.
No, they were repugnant.
So why did all of a sudden? Because she made herself beautiful and she spoke to people. So therefore, even though it wasn't her fault, what happened wasn't her fault. But if you go back and she was talking too much and hanging around too much, there already was a chisaron. Then one of the Mefarshim says a psavot like this, that really it wasn't her fault. But why does she call her Zoina? Because after her husband found out, he was really angry. So therefore he never went home again with his wife. So she was frustrated. So it was like, a tragedy on top of a tragedy. She became a Zoina later. Because after that, she was like, stuck. Her husband didn't want to come back. So she became a Zoina.
How did her husband find out?
So there is several. The Medrash says that he in the Medrash in the Shmois Rabbah here that he hid behind the ladder and he came to call him to go to work. When he walked out, he hid behind the ladder of the house. Then he closed the door and he started sleeping with his wife. And the husband of Shlomis realized that he left something in the house. He turned around and he looked through the hole of the house and he saw what was going on. So that's according to the Medrash. Now, again, the Medrash, the words of the Medrash doesn't say that she did it intentionally, but the Mefarshim say, Sachik aloi. Sachik aloi, she smiled to who? So it could be she smiled to her husband, but they say, no, she smiled to the Mitzri. So the Mitzri said, she's interested.
She opened the door for him.
Right, so he hid behind the ladder, and then the husband left to work, they closed the door, then he turned around the yukul, and he started looking in, and he found out what was going on. So that's why the Egyptian was upset. That he realized that the husband knows what's going on. So that's the worst of understanding. The middle understanding is that she was forced, but she really wasn't interested. So why is she called a Zoina? Only because she made her, she was walking around the block too much. So, or like one of the Mefarshim say, because later she became frustrated, she became a Zoina. The third pshat is Rashi pshat, which is that Nebuch, she was mutis. She wasn't even forced. She didn't know. She thought it was her husband. And according to this pshat, you have to understand why is she called a Zoina. Why is she called a Zoina? So the Ram says.
According to Rashi.
Yeah, so the Ram says really, the Zoina doesn't mean like today in Hebrew. Because modern Hebrew, we think we know what the word Zoina means. Zoina doesn't. When it says that the Kohen Gadol Isha Zoina vechalolo yolo yikochu, right? So it says about the Kohen, right? The beginning of the Parsha Emor. Today's Chumash. Isha Zoina vechalolo lo yikochu. What does it mean? Isha Zoina. It doesn't mean a whorelat, the way it's translated in the dictionary. It means a woman that was, for example, married to a mamzer. She didn't know he's a mamzer. She married a mamzer. That's it. She has the din of a zoina. Nivel l'apostolo, she has the din of a zoina. So because it wasn't her fault, she made a mistake. She didn't realize. He thought it was her husband, but Lapoyo, he was a mitzri. So nivel l'apostolo, she has the title of a zoina.
The same way Chava Zona. She wasn't Zona.
No, let's not talk about Rochav. This is another beautiful Gemara.
Yeshua
so to talk. Okay, so we'll leave. So
even in the Tanakh, according to Chazal, Zonah has different meanings, in different places.
Right, different. Right,
so
over there, Zonah means right, but over here in this Parsha Emor, when it says Isha Zonah v'chalol lo yikachu, it doesn't mean that Zonah. It means Pashat, a woman like Rashi says, right? Shemachalel saydei znus. Zoina is sheniva lebilas yisrael osar lokayoncha v'krisis nasan amamza. Right? So that's the third pshat, which is Rashi's pshat. Oy bazoi vetzach l'shayla. Why Chazal say, and Rashi himself brings that this woman is shlomis, that she was talking a lot, and bas divry, she was talking to all the people. So they have a brilliant word to explain it. They say, no, you didn't get it. You have to. First of all, there's a different issue in Rashi. The last two words in Rashi, lefikach kilkala, they take out. We'll learn the Rashi inside in a few minutes, so we'll see which words they take out. But they say, no. The pshat is very different. Why could a woman that went through such a horrible thing? Why would they try to publicize it? How about privacy? A little bit of privacy for this woman.
Well, she said it was.
Privacy. A little bit of privacy.
Because she was it's teaching a lesson. She didn't stop talking.
So therefore the Mefarshim say it's not really her name. You don't know her name. No one knows her name. It's John Doe. Mrs. John Doe.
Not Shlomis?
Her name was not Shlomis. Her name was not Divri. They gave her the name Shlomis because she said Shalom Aloch. They gave her the name Divri because she was talking to people. So the Torah never told you who it is, Michlal. It's not like her name was printed in the front page. No one knows. Till today, no one knows. They also didn't know maybe then. No one knows. The Torah says there was a woman that spoke a lot and said Shalom Aleichem a lot. But we don't know her real name. That's the way they explain why the Torah called what's of Pshat and the Drash of Shlomis Bas Digri. Okay. Now that we have the background on Mrs. Shlomis Bas Divri.
I said before that the name Shlomis was given to her as a nickname.
Right, it's not her real name.
Not her real name.
The Torah gave it to her. No one knew that was her name. The Torah gave it to her, that name. Right. She had a different name. So that's the third pshat. So again, we have here three ways of understanding what happened to Shlomis Bas Divri, and one is that the way some of us learn in the Medrash of Medrash Rabbah is that it was Bezoden, and the second way is that it was Ba'oinus, and the third way is Rashi's Mutis, was B'chlal against her will. So let's learn the Chumash very quickly and the Rashi, and then we'll talk about the Shlomis Bas Divri. So the pasuk says, "Vayitze ben ish Yisraelis, v'hu ben ish Mitzri b'seich b'nei Yisrael." He went out, and the Torah describes who is the man that went out. It was a man that his mother was a Yisraelis, but the father was a Mitzri. Vayenotzu b'machna, that had a fight. Who had the fight? Ben Yisraelis v'isha Yisraeli. they had a fight. The Moedeke words on the Kliyokar. Kliyokar says nothing good ever came out of a fight. Yeah? Oh, wow.
What?
The Kliyokar says nothing good ever came out of an argument. So that's why the Torah says, Bnei Yisrael, they don't want to say either name. They were both Rishonim. Why do you have to rate Samam? Why do you have a chepping? You see he's angry, don't bother him. And finally, he got this guy angry, and the guy he snapped, and then he did an Aveda, which was Makal Shem Hashem, and then he got Skila.
What did parents say?
It's a Kliyoker's Yortzei. Vayikev ben Isha Yisraelis is a shame. So the man whose mother was Yisraelis, he cursed the Eibishter Vayikalo. He said the Eibishter's name and he gave it a curse. Vayviyo is Moshe, they brought him to Moshe. V'shem Imoy, what was the name of his mother? Shlomis Bas Divry Lamata Don. The name of his mother was Shlomis Bas Divry from the Shevet of Don. Vaynechuba Mishpar, they put him in a jail. Lifresh lahem al pi Hashem until the last Eibishter what the din is. V'dav Hashem al Moshe Leima, David said that they should kill him in the way of Skila. And they sold it about Leima, a whole thing. Kish ishikal lekov nasachete b'nekev shemais yumas v'ishkiyake kol nefesh adam mais yumas mak behema ishashit mumba misoy kashosek. If a person that makes a mum and someone else, that mum should be done to him. And then the Torah says, Ani Hashem Alekeichem, V'daber Moshe b'nei Yisrael. Moshe delivered the words of the Eibishter. They took the Makal out of the Machna, V'yirgmos oven, they stoned him. They gave him Skila, b'nei Yisrael, also Kashashiv Hashem as Moshe. The Jews fulfilled the commandment that the Eibishter said through Moshe. So as I said, the Kliyokah says, what's the continuation of the Parsha? That the guy that teased the Ben Isha, a Mitzri, so he's also not. That's what David says. Ish. Both. Anyone involved in the fight. Fights always result in bad stuff. Always don't have good results. And it's not in the Shaila who's right. Who's right is wrong. And who's wrong is wrong. And therefore we say, Kashayip mumba misa ken yasaloi. Like Chazal say, Kol ha-poisel b'mumay poisel. If you say someone has something negative, you have the same negative thing. Therefore, the person should always be very careful not to get schlepped into an argument. I'm not involved. I don't know. Arguments is not my place. Okay, let's get to a little bit of Pshuta Shamikra. It's a Kliyokar, it's a Hashkocha Protis. We said over words on Kliyokar.
Why was it said Machloket she'ena l'Shem Shamayim eina mitkayemet, Machloket l'Shem Shamayim mitkayemet? She had Machloket l'Shem Shamayim. It's in Pirkei Avot, right?
But that's not the type of Machloket we're talking
No, it's a different Machloket here.
Yeah. That's what the Alter Rebbe says, that's the one you have to care the most. You have to be careful, the Chloike Shem Shamayim. Because the silly ones, they're going to stop. But the Chloike Shem Shamayim, they're going to last for 100 years. Because everyone says it's L'Shem Shamayim. Let's look in the Rashi, Apostle Yud. Vayetze ben Ishi Yisraelis. He went out, Meichen Yotza. Where did he go from? He went out from his world. What does it mean he went out from his world? From his Olam Haza, from his Olam Haba, from his Dalada. At the end of the story was Nebuch, he did a terrible sin and therefore he got killed. Rebrechia says, he went out from the previous parsha. Liglig ve'omer, he left. He said, in the previous parsha it says that they should make the bread for the Eibishter from Shabbos to Shabbos. He said, a king eats hot bread every day. Or is it that a king will eat bread that is stale and cold, 9 days old? Bitmiya, question mark. That doesn't make sense. When he heard the parsha, Moshe Rabbeinu said that they bake the bread for Hashem only once a week and they put it on the lechem up on him. 9 days.
Say fresh though.
He didn't know the nest because he only heard the parsha when it was told, but the Mishkan wasn't built yet, so he didn't wait to see the miracle. The Mishnah says, "He went out of the bezin of Moshe Rabbeinu and he lost the din Torah. He wanted to pitch his tent in the camp of Don. They said to him, "What are you doing here?" He said, "My mother is from the Shevet Don. Emor, they said to him, "Nah, you shall digle b'Yisrael. You have to go with your father Shevet now, with your mother Shevet. So you can't be here. You're not from your father's not from Shevet Dan. Your father's a Mitzri." So Nichnas l'beis din shel Moshe. He went into the Beis Din of Moshe. And Moshe said he is wrong. He can't pitch his tent by Dan. Where should he? I don't know where he should, but not there. Ahmad, so he stood up, v'gidif, and he cursed. So Rashi says, Ben Ish Mitzri. What does it mean, Ben Ish Mitzri? Hu Mitzri shaharag Moshe. This is the Mitzri. His father is the Mitzri that killed Moshe. B'toich b'nei Yisrael.
Moshe killed him.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah. Moshe killed his father, right.
Moshe killed his father?
Moshe Rabbeinu killed his father. Right?
Years ago.
Years ago.
Oh, Moshe killed a Jew?
Mitzri.
His mother, shlomis bas divry.
Wait. He impregnated her?
Yeah, we would talk about a story about 25 minutes.
I know, but I didn't realize he impregnated her.
Yeah, she became pregnant that night. This is his son.
Oh, I see.
This is the son from that encounter that night.
Got it.
That's the no Moshe's sore.
Huh?
This is part of the no good Moshe's sore.
Right, exactly. No, so the Mefoshim say, true, one child is going to be Megayah, but that seed already went out last night. So there's nothing left in him that's going to be good. The one seed that's going to be good, that was it.
Who's the good seed?
This
guy, the son of Shlomis bas divry, he was Megayah.
Oh, well, she was Jewish, though. He didn't have to Megayah.
Well, then we'll get to next Rashi. B'toich b'nei Yisrael, Rashi says, Malamach in his Gayer. That teaches us that he was Megayah. When the Torah says these extra words, B'toich b'nei Yisrael, it means to tell us, why does it say B'toich b'nei Yisrael? What does it mean B'toich b'nei Yisrael that he was Megayah? So the Ramban asks, why does he have to be Megayah? So he brings two opinions. The Chachmei Tzorfa, the Balatosfa said that until Matan Torah, old Yichus was from the father. After Matan Torah, Judaism goes with the mother. He was born before Matan Torah, so therefore he was going with the father. So he had to be Megayah. But the Ramban disagrees with that. The Ramban says what the nation of Avram Avinu, the seed of Avram is from Avram was chosen by the Eibishter. And it's already from Avram Avinu. It's always, that's what the Gemara says about Esav. He's Yisrael Mumer, because he said no. He said it's a different thing. It doesn't mean that a real Gedus. It means that he could have gone after his father's family. He could have just moved to his father's family and chose to be Egyptian. Apparently that was possible. So I don't know. In the south, if a person had issues with a shivcha and she had a child, would that the child that was born was a free man or a slave? I don't know. But apparently in Egypt he had the option to be a free man, like the Egyptian. He decided to be Jewish. So that's Pshat Malamach in his Gayer. And they had a fight in the Machana. So what is this extra? What do you mean? What's the difference where they fight? In the back alley, or on Avenue J, or on the platform of the train station? What's the difference where they fought? They had a fight. No, it's important because the fight was about the machane, al iske ha machane.
Done, not done.
Right, done or not done. Mm-hmm. So, are we done or we're not done?
Literally.
Yeah. So, Isha Yisraeli zeshe kenegda shemicha by mita. Who's the Ish Yisraeli? The guy who said, no, you can't pitch your tent right here. So that was the guy that was against him. So there was a fight between the two of them. When they went out of the Beis Din of Moshe Rabbeinu.
I kind of feel bad for this guy a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
he killed his father.
He's going. His father's dead. He was born in the through a mess. Here he goes to Dan to throw him out. He goes to Moshe. Moshe says, "You're wrong." He doesn't know where to go.
And it's even worse. What's even worse is the Zoya. This makes it very dramatic. And some of Mefarshim say that really Rashi is a little bit meramis to this. He didn't know how his father died. No one told him. Why should people tell him how his father died? You should tell a child, tell him the whole business, how his mother. Okay, he knew that he knew that his father was a mitzvah, but all the details, the gruesome details, they spared him. No one told him. Now that this guy had a fight when he lost the Din Torah, he was really angry. So the Jew instead said, take it easy. So I'm not going to take it easy. And the argument got worse and worse.
You know who's your mother?
That was I. And you know your father? And you know how your father died?
That's what the Zayar says?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the guy said, that's what happened? He heard that he killed my father with Shem Hashem. So he got angry. And he cursed that Shem Hashem. And one of the Meforshim here, Rashi says, and he tries to put in the words of Rashi, that's why it says a double words. Vayikov ben ish Yisrael es Hashem vayikal. Vayikov means he cursed, vayikal means he cursed. Because he cursed the Eibishter and he cursed Moshe Rabbeinu. And he says a funny pshat. Hashem is also Moshe. Mem Shin Hey, the opposite is
Hashem.
Is Moshe. Yeah. So now he found out the secret, so he got really angry. Other Meforshim say, no, he always knew it. Kliok actually says, he always knew it. But the Kol HaMachal Shamayim B'Seis and Ephraim B'Megolui. Because secretly he harbored something against the Eibishter, so eventually it came out in public. Because you machal the Eibishter secretly, like the Rebbe once said, that he heard from he was friends with an Einik called Chassam Sofer, and he told him that Chassam Sofer said that a person that benigla, he argues on the nister of the Torah. Benister, he doesn't believe in the nigla of the Torah. So because says the Kliyokar secretly he always had an issue with Shem Hashem, therefore it came out.
Gerus wasn't a full Gerus, anyways.
Right.
Conservative.
Yeah.
My question is,
Yeah.
if Moshe Rabbeinu was allowed to judge him, he was Nogea Badavar. He killed his father. Judge or Ed that Nogea Badavar is not allowed to judge. Moshe was Nogea Badavar.
Why is it Nogea Badavar? What's
He killed Shimon
killed his father. So what?
And now the son
He
coming.
was just walking by and he saw this mystery beating up this guy.
No, but he saw Shimon Foresh, nobody would come out good for that, so he killed him. Yes.
Okay, so but he did
But he
the
was
right
the
thing.
judge. Moshe was Rabbeinu was the judge. They took him for him, right? They took him.
There's a misconception what Nogea Badavar means. Nogea Badavar doesn't mean that
It
once.
doesn't mean that you have something to do with it.
So Pinchas was
You have to have something.
Not to judge
stabbed
someone
that
that's in
guy.
charge.
He was also a judge. At the moment, he made the decision to do it. Pinchas, in the paragraph, he stabbed the guy. He was walking by and he saw it's not stopping the whole Makefa, and he stabbed him, and then he did the right thing.
No, but he already had learned the halakha that just Moshe forgot it.
Yeah.
Has to
Okay.
remind him.
Moshe Rabbeinu knew that he wasn't a Nogea B'Davar. He knew that he had no feelings to him. It's not so easy to disqualify a dayan because Nogea B'Davar. Nogea B'Davar is very specific that there's a money issue. He's a dayan in this city. There's one Sefer Torah in the city, and he has to come. If the Sefer Torah is going to be lost, he's not going to have where to hear the Torah. Now, he's not allowed to judge on that Sefer Torah. Now, this guy, his father killed him years ago for a good reason. What's it do with the son? There's nothing. He has no bones to pick with the son. There was a question: is he allowed to pitch and don the tent or not? So Moshe Rabbeinu looked into it and said, "No, you can't pitch a tent. That's it." So,
The cover.
okay, that's a good question. Certainly a good question. Yeah. But the din is that a judge has to be very careful. A dayan who feels that he's obligated to recuse himself.
Oh, himself.
Yeah, a dayan who feels even the slightest thing in his heart, he has to say, Rabbi, I can't do it.
Somebody else can.
Someone else will do it, right?
It's very...
But Moshe Rabbeinu was a tzaddik, and he knew that he has nothing against this guy personal. So Moshe Rabbeinu knew that he had no bones here to pick. It was
Just
nothing.
out of curiosity, if a guy curses the Shem Hashem, is he also put to death?
B'chas Hashem, yes, that's one of the Shabbat mitzvahs they know, for sure.
Don't curse God. That's
Yes,
right, exactly.
100%.
Like,
100%.
he was judged not only as a yid, but he was judged as a guy also.
I don't know, but the fact is that he converted.
Yeah.
So, and some say his conversion doesn't really mean conversion; it just means that he came to the Jewish side, but really he was Jewish because his mother was Jewish.
The Erev Rav always convert? Moshe
That I don't
with
know.
him?
That I don't know. But this guy is different. He's not really the Erev Rav. His mother was Jewish. He's not just Erev Rav. He's different. This guy. It's interesting that there's a machlokas meforshim. Some say that there is three opinions about what the argument was. If the argument was about. Was the argument about the Eibishter's bread, which is a really strange thing. So they were arguing, should the Eibishter have hot bread or cold bread? All of a sudden he started cursing. Like,
How's like my customers?
What are we dealing with? So some of our Hashim say, yeah, it got really heated. It got really heated, and he cursed. The others say no. Rashi's saying, tu pshatim, what the word vayetze means. Either means vayetze means he went out of his tent, he went out of his world, he went out of his bubble, he went out of wherever he was standing. Or vayetze meant that he came out from the previous parsha. He just heard that Moshe Rabbeinu said they should make bread for the Eibishter and they should put it on the table, and the Kohanim later eat it, and the Kohanim eat Meshulchan Gavoya from the Eibishter's table. So he said, this doesn't make sense. The Kohanim will eat from Hashem's table bread that are 8, 9, 8, 7, 8, old stale bread. So he laughed. Aveda, Geiredes Aveda. So then he started arguing already about pitching tents, and that's what happened. That's the way they learn it. So they learn that it's not three opinions of what the argument was. That really, and a little bit it sounds this way in Rashi, a little bit, not for sure, because Rashi later when he explains the pasuk, he says v'yonotzav hamachana al iske hamachana. So a little bit it sounds from Rashi that for sure the final argument was about the machana, and that's when the Jew said, "Hey, you know who your mother is? Do you know who your father is? Do you know who killed your father? Do you know how he killed your father?" And this guy blew it. He found out all that. There was too much information. Blew his mind. Vayikov, vayikala. But vayetze, for that Rashi gives two pshatim what vayetze meant. Okay. Next Rashi. Vayikov. He said the Eibishter's name, and then he cursed it. It's the Eibishter's name that you heard by Sinai. I mean, the Pashta Shaila you could ask is, when we hear it every day, Bechas Kohanim, and the Eibishter's name. Eventually, they stopped saying the Eibishter's name in Bechas Kohanim in the times of the second Beis HaMikdash, but could be this was before the mitzvah of Bechas Kohanim ever started. And it could be also that the way they heard it by Har Sinai was much more with clarity, or maybe there was some. Okay. The Shem Imoy, what was his mother's name? Shlomis bas divry. So what's bothering Rashi? The Torah doesn't say originally who his mother is. The Torah says in the beginning, Vayetze ben Isha Yisraelis. Can't say. We don't want to say his name because he's a Rosh. Okay. So he say, but you don't say ben Ish. So you want to say something. But his father was a goy. So you say his mother was Jewish, his father was a goy. Why does it say his father's a goy? Because that was part of the argument. Okay. But why at the end of the story do we have to say Shem Im Shlomis bas divry? So Rashi explains, Shivchan shel Yisrael shepirsham ha'akos lazu loima shelavada his zoyna. She was the only one that was a zoyna. What does a zoyna mean? Again, we said there is several pshatim how you can read what zoyna means. According to Rashi, the Mizrahi says that zoyna doesn't mean the Zoyna that was mentioned before, like in the story of Yehuda. Zoyna over here means like Isha Zoyna Chalol lo yikochu, because what happened, even though it was not Zoden, it was not Oynes, it was Mutis, but that she had a din of a Zoyna.
And even regarding the Kohen, it's not so simple because there is a very strong opinion that it means even Panuya Bala Panuya.
No, so then there would be a Zoyna.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
No, for a Kohen. That even a ponu, that in other words,
if a ponu game,
how that's bringing practice today is that let's say you have just people living together.
Oh, then she would not be a zoyna.
Yeah.
No, but not. But if she slept even one night with a mamzer, not with a ponu and a pnuya. Here she slept one night with a mitzri.
Yeah, okay.
That not when talking because she slept with a mitzri. We're not talking about a ponu and a pnuya. We're talking about a mitzri, so nivel is also law.
Okay, but I'm saying even if you say that the zona for a kohen, even it means just extra non-marital relations. That's
could
also,
be.
Yeah.
Okay, say could be, could be not. But here it was worse because it was nivelis also law. He was a mitzri.
So last week, Parshyos, there's no nesuyin between
Right. That's why he wasn't puzzled. That's why he wasn't a mamzer.
So why Mitzvah want to go with the Jewish woman and they're all slave and they're all down? They look at them like you're nothing, and Mitzvah will go with the Jewish woman. I don't understand.
Well, she made herself look good.
Yeah, she
So what?
was looking for trouble.
It's
Look
also
next
for
to Rashi, shlomis. Now pitpata, she would talk a lot. Shalom alach, shalom alach, shalom aleichin. Mitvatetzes bedvornim v'shelos v'shalom hakol. Bas divry. The Abron is so she spoke a lot. The beres mikolad lefikach kilkala. Some girses take out these words lefikach kilkala. That's why the Ram says no, that the Torah is not telling you a bad thing about her, telling you a good thing. The Torah is saying, I don't want to tell you her name. I'm just going to tell you what she did. I'm not going to tell you her name because I want to protect her privacy. The last Rashi is Lamata Dom and Agit Sharosha Godim Gnai Loi Gnai Loviv Gnai Lashiftoi. The Rasha brings shame to his family and to his Shevet Kayotze by Eliyav Ben Achisamach Lamata Don Shevach Loi Shevach Loviv Shevach Lashiftoi. He brings honor to his father and to his Shevet. Okay, so now let's. The time is short. We want to come to the Sicha. So usually the Sicha is, the Rebbe takes a scalpel and razor sharp analysis of what the Rashi meant and what was the kasha, what was bothering Rashi, what's answering. Here is just a different thing. The Rebbe is just asking a poshta shayla. How do you feel bad for shlomis bas divry? I mean, the Torah says, the Torah doesn't even say the negativity of behemoth tameya. That's why the Torah says, behemoth tahora, behemoth asher eineno tahora. So why would the Torah tell you a whole story about a woman, a private story? Keep it quiet. Why is the Torah telling us the story?
Well, who just mentioned that it's not a real name? The other Rabbi, they didn't want to.
So that's not her real name.
Well,
They should walk around saying hello.
Wait, the Rebbe is asking me to feel sorry for the son?
I want to say
Was
that.
For Mrs. Shlomis Bas Divry. Why should all the tabloids know the story?
Because we have to know why her son died. We have to know the story behind the son.
Why do we have to know the story behind the son?
Why? Because,
How's that going to help us to know the story behind the son?
Because the average Yid does not curse Hashem. That's
Very
why.
good. The Bechaya says that. The Bechaya says that the question is, how could a Jew fall so low that he would chas v'shalom curse the Eibishter? So he says, because unfortunately this was not very kosher seed. True, he was Jewish.
Yeah.
But it was not. It was a very bitter seed. It was from Mitzri, and that's why the Torah explains what happened.
So why is that enough for the Rebbe? What objection?
Wait a minute. That's not enough yet. That's not enough.
Yeah.
That's not enough. But what someone just mentioned, the Rebbe suggests maybe that's the pshat. In general, just as an introduction, in general, the Torah doesn't say anything negative. However, what do you mean? The Torah does say. The Torah many times says which chayas are tameus. Torah tells us a lot of negative things that people did, but there's a difference. The Torah only tells us, for example, the Torah has to tell you that this is toher, just toher. Tome, Torah says tome. The Torah doesn't mince words. Halach has to be told clearly, or a story. Sometimes the Torah has to tell you a story, and it was a terrible thing. Noach did a terrible thing. Adam Rishon then. What do you have to? Everyone has to know Adam Rishon Nebach. Don't tell us the story. You can't say, don't tell us the story. We all have to know the story. Because we have to learn from it.
Musa, yeah.
We have to learn from it. Certain stories we have to tell. We have to tell because we have to learn. So the Chazal tell us that from here we learn. What do we learn? We learn how important it is for a Jew to be tzanius. Because here, there's a woman, she meant nothing bad. She wanted to go around B'Seiva Ponim Yofes. She was in the welcoming committee to the land of Goshen. So she would welcome all the visitors. She said, Shalom Alach. She would talk to them, make them comfortable. But you have to be very careful with tznius. The Torah wants that you should learn from this. So therefore, the Torah can't hide. The Torah tries to protect her identity, doesn't tell you the name, to tell you the story of what she did, but not her name. But still, the Torah has to tell you so you can learn a lesson. It says by Noach that he was tzaddik only b'doirosa. Yesh doishim l'shvach, yesh loishim l'gnai. Some say it was a bad thing. Only in his generation he was a tzaddik. Moshe Rabbeinu asked the Eibishter for mercy for his people. Avram Avinu asked the Eibishter for mercy for the people as dying. He built his teva. He went inside. He's protected. Didn't ask. He didn't daven for his people. So it's a gnai. So the Rebbe has a moedic thought here. So why would you tell a gnai? Why would you want to tell bad things about Noach? He's a tzaddik, so why do you want to tell bad things? Noach. So the Rebbe answers, Noach wants the Torah to tell it to us. Noach had no choice. Like the Zohar says, Noach had no schusim. Moshe Rabbeinu had big schusim, so he could talk to the Eibishter. Avram had big schusim, so he could talk to the Eibishter. Noach was a little guy. He knew. He's knocking on empty doors. The Eibishter is never going to listen to him.
So why should he pick up Noach?
So, because he was a tzaddik, but he was not tzaddik enough that he has wide shoulders to say to Bnei Shalom, no, I'm not letting you do it. Chamishim tzaddikim, he couldn't talk. He had no leverage. But Noach wants us to be doirish lignai, because otherwise,
what does that mean?
Let me explain.
No,
Wait, let me.
The words.
Noach, if I could finish my sentence, I'll also translate. Noach would love that we should be in another generation. If we have people next to us that are not worthy, that we should try to ask the Eibishter Rachmanos for them. So he wants us to say Gnai. Gnai means a negative thing about him. That this was a negative thing not to daven for the people of his generation. Now, him personally, it wasn't a bad thing because there was no leverage. He couldn't do it. But Noach is happy that we are doirish lignai, to say that this is not a good thing. If there's one man in the whole world and he knows the way to Hashem, for him to build a box for himself and walk into his own bubble and let the whole world explode, that's not the way a Yid has to live his life. A Yid has to go and influence the whole world. A Yid has to go and ask the Eibishter to have mercy on the world. So therefore, Noach is happy that they're doirish lignai, that they say that this situation of not asking and not requesting and not influencing the people is a bad thing.
So who is the Rebbe objecting? Who is the Rebbe objecting to writing bad about this woman? Rashi? Who are you reading from?
Torah.
No, it wasn't in the. It's not in the. It's not. In, where is it in the Torah? It's not in the. Where is it? It's not in the written Torah.
Torah says words here.
Yeah, words.
Chazal are explaining what the words mean.
So who is he objecting to? Chazal or the Torah?
Chazal are explaining what the Rebbeinu Shalom is telling us in the Torah.
Yes, so the Rebbe's objecting to the fact that the Torah was obscure about it, and it required an explanation. Maybe it didn't say outright that she slept with the divry, the Torah. It required an explanation. So I mean, I don't understand.
That's good. You like that answer?
It's obscure.
You like that answer? You have an answer. You like your answer?
First of all,
well, we're going to try to find another answer.
What?
You like your answer?
My answer?
Yeah. But the Torah gave so many clues.
You not know, thank God.
That a 7 madrashim came up with figured out what happened with Shlomo bas divry. Not one madrash, 7 madrashim figured out that this pasuk. Why did the Torah say a whole piece of information? Shemi imoy Shlomo bas divry l'mata don. Why is it relevant? So 7, the Mechilta. And the Shmois Rabbah, the Shir Hashirim Rabbah, and the Yalkut Shimoni, and the Medrash Tehillim, all figured out the story. And now she tells it to a 5-year-old. It's pretty public. So one shot that everyone wants to give is that this is like many stories that the Torah tells us, even though it's negative, but it's to teach us a lesson. So it's really in the benefit of Shlomis herself that we should learn a lesson from her. Second pshat that Rebbe says is like this. The truth is, our sages says make it sound like it's not just it's an issue of tznius that the Torah is trying to teach us, because that's not the words of Rashi and that's not the words of the Medrash.
What about Dina?
The words of the Rashi and the words of the Medrash is that the Torah wants to tell you Shivchan shel Yisrael shelo yehoya b'neihem elazu, wants to tell you the shvach of Klal Yisrael. So that's a strange thing. If the Torah, like for example, would you sacrifice an individual for the public? The answer is no. For example, the Rambam says in Hilchos Yesodei Torah, if the Goyim say there's a group of 50 Jews, they say give us one person, we're going to execute him. You don't deliver one man, execute all 50. What are they supposed to do?
Kill all 50.
All 50. So, the same thing they say, Chas v'shalom, 50 women, they say, give us one. We want to be matama her. They're not allowed to give her, even though they're going to be matama all of them. So, just because we want to tell how all the Yidden were tzaddikim, the way that Rashi says in Parshyos Pinchas, that it says the Shvatim, Ruveini, Shimoini, Chanochi, Palui. So Rashi says why? Because the Eibishter put his name on every one of the families. Because the nations of the world said if they were able to have power over these people, to make them slaves, Al Gufeiseim Hoyasholtum Nishasem Lakolchken, you think they didn't sleep with their wives? You think they're big miyuchasim, Shevet Reuven, Shevet Shimon, Shevet Dan? Nah, these women, they had no choice. They slept with Egyptians. That's what the nations of the world said. The Eibishter said, I'm signing my name on every Shevet. Shifte, that's why David the Melech says, Shifte Yo Edus Li Yisrael. So Rashi says, Shifte Yutke Edus, that the Eibishter said testimony, that I know every seed is pure. I know every seed. And the Eibishter called them Malachim. He said, look at all the seeds. They're all pure. So the Eibishter said, you see, I'm going to put my name. Ruveini, Yutke, Ho Ruveini, Hey Yud. Hashimoini, Hey Yud. I want you to know that they're all pure seed. So the Torah is telling you to bring out how pure the seed is, that there was only one case. There was one story of shlomis divry, and that's the absolute exception. And that's the story with the Ishid, Mitzi, that was killed by Moshe Rabbeinu, and her son indeed was really sour grapes.
It's like amazing, there was only one case.
But there was only one case, it's like amazing.
Shifchan Shel Yisrael.
And that's Shifchan Shel Yisrael. But the question is, how is it Shevach for shlomis? So the answer is, Dr. Rebbe, that there is a issue, for example, there's a din, if a person is a person allowed to go into danger to save, to suffix sakona, to save someone else who's navada sakona. It's a machloikis. But everyone agrees if the Klal Yisrael, if the whole nation is in a sakona, and one person, if he could get involved, he could save them. So he's allowed to do it. Why? Because I'm myself part of the tzibur, so I'm saving myself. So shlomis divry, she's part of Klal Yisrael. When she goes out, when her story goes public, obviously we're careful not to tell her real name. We're just calling her shlomis divry. We're not telling you her real name. But still, when the story goes out and that tells the shevach of Klal Yisrael, that is a tikkun for her own neshama. That is good for her. That's a tikkun for her own neshama. And how do we see that in the Chassidus? So the Rebbe says very simple. That Alter Rebbe says that there's things that are mutter and osur. Mutter means it's not, there's no not. It's permissible. If you want, you can eat it. L'shem Shemaim, it elevates the kedusha. If you want, you don't eat it l'shem Shemaim, and then it sinks down. But dover that's osur. If a person will eat a shtickle pork, they'll start davening. It's not going to help. They say to Chassidish guys, they were really angry. They said, we're going off the derech. So they went into McDonald's. They don't know what they're talking about. Gidanosha, we don't have that. So they said, what do you have? They have a cheeseburger. Oh, Musa v'chalav. So they're really angry at the Eibishter. They ordered 2 cheeseburgers. They sit down, and one guy says, "Burech atah Hashem, hamoitzi lecha b'da'aretz." The guy says, "Are you crazy? This is a cheeseburger. We're going fry. We're going off the derech." He said, "Oh yeah, Baruch Hashem, kavod b'chusay."
And he didn't know it was soy cheese.
So when a person eats the cheeseburger and then he tries to daven, and he davens and he learns that will never, energy never goes up to kedusha. It's osur, it's locked. So the Alter Rebbe, however, if a person does tshuva from Ava Rabba, so then even the sin turns into zdoinus nasla kezochias. The sin turns into a mitzvah. How does that happen? So Alter Rebbe explains, because when a person is sinking in sin, and all of a sudden he feels so hurt, all of a sudden that gives him such a jolt that the sin itself, the darkness of the sin, makes him bounce all the way up to become a Baal Tshuva. So because the energy to become a Baal Tshuva is from the sin itself, because he feels so hurt from the darkness that he made through his own sin. So the sin made him have the Avad Abba. Regular mitzvah, just because you ate a cheeseburger, now you that energy you daven. No, the energy doesn't go up to Kedusha. But when the cheeseburger went, he went up like a rocket. He went up with the tshuva of Avad Abba, of a Baal Tshuva, then the energy could go up. Then the energy could go up. So what was the tikkun for the neshama of shlomis bas divry when her story was recorded in the Torah? So now, number one, everyone learned a very important lesson, Hilchas Tznius. But more importantly, everyone learned about the purity of Shivchan Shel Yisrael, of how the seed of Klal Yisrael was so pure at the time of Matan Torah. So when she told the story, that was the elevation of her neshama. So all of a sudden, that was her tshuva. That's the way she bounced up. So the Torah,
that's Avera itself.
Yeah. So her Avera turned into Zdoinas Nasala Kazachis. That was that the Torah tells the story because that was her tikkun. That was her aliyah. That was her elevation. It wasn't Chas v'Shalom. You know what? Let's besmear her a little bit. You know, let her names be in the tabloids a little, but everyone else will learn to behave. No, it was for her benefit. There was like Zdoinas Nasa like Kazachias. So that's why the Torah tells us Shivchan Shel Yisrael, that their seed was all pure, was not only for their benefit, but it was also for her benefit. When her story revealed to the world that this was only one exception, so then this was an elevation also for her neshama. So therefore, she was like the story of a Baal Tshuva. So therefore, when the Torah tells the story, it wasn't chas v'shalom to hurt her, but it was actually to elevate her.